Hey class, this is Lindsay Reynolds and this is my Marp project, and I did mine on Nearpod. I ended up going with Nearpod as my emerging technology trend for a couple different reasons. I had actually posted on Facebook to all of my teacher friends for their input on what they felt was an emerging technology trend, and majority of all of the teachers said hands down Google Classroom, Google anything. But that was not a topic that we were allowed to use, as well as it's not an emerging trend because it has been around for quite a while. So I did have one teacher friend say how she loved using Nearpod in her classroom. And what is Nearpod exactly? Well, first of all, it is a platform that transforms your classroom and engages your students. Nearpod is a platform that easily allows teachers to create, download, and teach interactive lessons across all student devices, which include Chromebooks, iPads, iPhones, as well as Android devices. Nearpod also works on any operating system or browser. Nearpod works with Google Classroom, Canvas, as well as Schoology. Another cool thing about Nearpod is that it gives every student a voice, really. Nearpod creates an inclusive and immersive learning experience by allowing students to actively participate in every lesson. So I've included a short video on how Nearpod works. So to play this video, you actually have to double click that picture, hit play, and then you'll be able to see the video. For some reason, I cannot get the sound to pick up on the video for any other screen that I try to use. Screencastify, Camtasia, Screencast. I've tried them all and it's not picking up the actual YouTube video sound. So I do apologize about that inconvenience. So here are ways that Nearpod can be used in the classroom. First, Nearpod can be used for simple presentation delivery. It can be personalized provision. It can be used for distributing resources. It's awesome for live informative assessments, as well as ongoing assessments, self-assessments, modeling, open-ended tasks, setting homework, and sharing and using pre-made resources. Nearpod with your students. Here are ways that you could use Nearpod with your students. So personalized lessons that the teacher creates, and then the students are able to access those lessons live or even later if they choose to for homework or whatnot on their personal devices. It's really cool because Nearpod can also be used for virtual field trips, which I will discuss a little bit later. It encourages digital collaboration. It allows for introducing and or reviewing content that the teacher has given to the students. So again, they can do it live in class or later if they choose to at home. It's really good for pre-post assessments as well as formative assessments, as I mentioned. Here is a list of the features of Nearpod. So teachers can add multiple interactive features, which include polls, question and answers, draw-its, quizzes, videos, slideshows. They can share web pages as well as add homework. So what all can teachers do with Nearpod? Well, teachers can upload their existing PowerPoints, PDFs, Google Slides, lessons, whatever they have, into Nearpod and Sway and convert them to interactive Nearpod lessons by including engaging activities such as quizzes, polls, draw-its, open-ended questions, fill in the blanks, and even 3D objects. So one of the things that I thought was really cool is the formative assessment options that Nearpod offers. Nearpod has a rich student engagement formative assessment option. Teachers get real-time feedback on student understanding and can access post-lesson reports to assess individual and classroom performance. With these options that Nearpod has, the quizzes, the polls, the draw, it's open-ended questions, fill in the blanks. Each of them has their own assessment feature. So as I've listed quizzes, Nearpod's multiple choice option grades the students' responses so you can assess individual or whole class data instantly. With polls, using polls can allow a student to self-assess their own learning with true, false questions or to gauge, any misconceptions that they may have. Draw It's student drawings and annotations can offer significant benefits over traditional formative assessments. With the open-ended questions options, this allows students to think for themselves. This type of activity can strengthen the students' critical thinking skills. And then also with the fill in the blanks, this formative assessment can be powerful for all students, but it actually is a great strategy to use for your ELL students. So I've already listed several great features that Nearpod has for bringing into the classroom, but there are also things that Nearpod allows for outside of just the classroom setting. So with having Nearpod in a school district or a school, schools and districts have access to special admin features that allow administrators to actually create and manage a private library of interactive lessons with teachers at their own school. Also, Nearpod has exclusive in-person training and PD to ensure you get the most out of Nearpod's features and benefits. Nearpod has a library of thousands of standards aligned to K through 12 lessons across all subjects and contents. All lessons are editable and customizable to meet the needs of individual teachers as well as the students. Another thing that I thought was really cool outside of the assessments option feature that Nearpod offers is the differentiated instruction that it allows for, which I think is super important to have in your classroom. So Nearpod is an excellent tool to utilize for this. One way to differentiate with Nearpod is to give your students access to multiple lessons on the same topic. So I put an example here. If you have a math lesson and you want to divide your class up into groups based on their mastery or interest, also their learning capabilities, you can create different lessons but that are on the same topic, and your students are able to access whichever one group that they fall into. So one might be, for students who are a little bit behind or need more explanation to things. So you would have your group one with, you might want to say, an easier lesson, and then you have your group two who your students are getting the concept or a little ahead of the pace, and you can put them into a different group. So they're all getting the same content, but in different forms. So that's a cool thing that they could do at their own pace. So I had mentioned earlier that Nearpod offers a VR virtual reality option. And with this, what's cool about that is teachers can take their students on a virtual field trip anywhere in the world. Nearpod VR also works on any device with or without the headsets. So that actually will save classes money when you don't have to purchase a headset for each of your students to be able to do this field trip. And how it works is teachers will launch a live lesson, students will get a code, and they will enter that lesson code, and then it syncs to all the devices, and then they are able to explore anywhere in the world or that their teacher has their specific lesson on. Teaching is one of the most important jobs in the world. With this video, this teacher discusses just a short clip on how he likes Nearpod and why he thinks it's important in his classroom. And like the previous video, unfortunately, the sound is not recording on any other system for my videos. So you will just have to double click on this picture that you see and the play button will pop up and you just hit play and then you can hear what the teacher has to say. And that will conclude my presentation on Nearpod. And here is a list of my references that I used in order to gather my information. And I hope you guys all enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.